Hello, my name is Don and welcome to the channel. In today's video, I want to talk about the changes I had to make to my AR22, and I also want to talk about Arken Optics' new LPVO, the LH-6 1-6x24. So stay tuned, guys. This is going to be a pretty cool video. So I've had this AR22 for a very long time. It hasn't always been in this configuration. I think I've swapped the handguard out a few times, but we've always used the same receiver, the same barrel, and the same bolt. Now the barrel and bolt are CMMG kit. It's chromoly 1-in-16 twist. I've always got pretty good accuracy out of this. Now, not quite match accuracy, but pretty dang good. I did a video, I think a year and a half ago, and I think we were shooting in the 0.4s with it, which I think for this type of a platform, I think that was pretty dang good. Anyhow, I had it out shooting it a few weeks ago, and I noticed that the accuracy had just fallen off. We were shooting groups about like this, and there was no grouping to it. It was kind of like all over the place, and it didn't matter what ammunition that I shot. So we got out the boroscope, and I found a bunch of rust and pitting inside the barrel. So how do I explain where that came from? I really can't. You know, my gun room is, it's very climate controlled. None of my other guns have this problem, so I have no explanation on where it came from, but there it was, and I needed to do something about it. So I took a brass brush and some PB Blaster. I don't know if you've ever tried to clean up rust. It seems like a wire wheel works the best. The wire just gets inside of the pitting and it'll get rid of most of that rust. So we took the brass brush, went up and down this barrel with some PB Blaster, and we got rid of most of, if not all of that rust and pitting. After I got done with that, I cleaned all that out, and then we put a patch through there with some lapping compound on it. And I spent a couple hours cleaning this thing up, and it came out pretty dang good. We got a pretty good looking bore, so I'm kind of curious to see how well this thing is going to shoot. So what we're going to do today is we're going to try and verify that we fixed the accuracy problem with this barrel. We're also going to shoot this suppressed, and we're going to shoot this with 3 different muzzle devices. I kind of want to see if this barrel is muzzle device sensitive, so we'll try 3 different muzzle devices. And then we're going to try the Jessie's Girl can. I want to see if it shoots better or worse with the can on it. And I also want to see if there is a impact shift running suppressed and unsuppressed. I also want to talk about this Arken LH-6 LPVO. This is Arken Optics' new scope. It's 1-6x24. It's got a 34mm main tube. It does have an illuminated reticle in it. It has 9 brightness settings. There is not an offsetting in between each one, which kind of sucks. It does have 2 night vision settings. It does not have the Japanese glass, and you can kind of tell when you get up into 6 power, you can kind of see a little bit of limitations to the glass. It does start to cloud up a little bit, but that's not unheard of in a scope that costs what this scope costs. You can pick this thing up for under $200. Now, guys, the turrets are fantastic in this scope. Check this out. These turrets are, they're super exact. There's absolutely no play in these things. I believe these are the same turrets they put in their EP8, which is their first focal plane optic. I really like this scope. This thing has a fantastic 1x. So when you're looking through it at 1 power, it's like you're not looking through an optic at all. It's kind of like you see very little scope body, and all you see is a reticle floating around in the middle. And it's about as true to life as any scope that I've ever seen. I'm very impressed with this little optic. So what we're going to end up doing today is we're going to go out, we're going to verify that we did fix this barrel. We're going to shoot it suppressed. We're going to shoot it with 3 different muzzle devices. And then I want to show you a little bit more about this scope. So let's go out to the range. So when I decided to go through this AR22, I contacted Bore Buddy. Now, if you're not familiar with Bore Buddy, they're a website that has everything you could possibly want for putting together an AR22 or updating your CMMG bolts. You can buy magazines, they have barrels, receivers, you name it, they have it for the AR22. So what Bore Buddy ended up sending me was their AR rifle bundle. And basically this has everything that you would need to upgrade your CMMG bolt. It gives you a weight system so that you can adjust the bolt to any type of ammunition that you might change. It allows you to add weight to slow the bolt down in case you're running suppressed and you got to deal with that extra back pressure from the suppressor. It just allows you to adjust this bolt. It's kind of like running a heavier buffer system in a regular AR system. That's what this is. It's just adding more weight to the back of the bolt. Now this kit also includes a little insert that you put into your charging handle. Now this particular one is a dedicated AR22 charging handle, but what it does is it kind of mimics this. It fills in the open space in your charging handle so no rounds will get stuck in here. It's funny, when you start having, when you start shooting these things a lot, your empty cases, as they're getting flung out of the ejection port, will find their ways into the craziest spots. And this is one of those spots. So all this does is it fills in that area there so that no rounds can get stuck in there. Now guys, it also includes this buffer spacer. And what the buffer spacer is it fits into the buffer tube and it applies pressure to the back of the bolt system so that it doesn't move around on you. Sometimes if that is not there, this can actually pop out because there's like a little area back here that is void of anything. So sometimes this can pop out of the retainer that's on the barrel right here, and it can push this backward, which can cause some problems with your cycling. So they also sent me a 22 long rifle bolt catch, and what this bolt catch does is it moves the latch that holds the bolt a little bit forward so that you can use it with the 22 long rifle bolt. So the nice thing about that is I'm able to use my bad lever. Now I've always used bad levers on all my ARs, and the nice thing about that is you can manipulate the bolt with it. So it's pretty slick. So guys, it also comes with a shock collar. Now the shock collar is a polymer breech face basically that eliminates bolt bounce, and it also makes the action quieter when you're running suppressed. So when the bolt drops, the face of the bolt will hit the polymer here, and it's not as tinny as it would be if you had a regular metal breech face. So that works really well. It does quiet it down a little bit more when you're running suppressed. So what we're going to do here today is just try and get a baseline, make sure all this stuff is working properly, and see how this cleaned up barrel shoots. So we're going to be using the Arken Optics LH-6 LPVO. This is a second focal plane LPVO. It has the KYL reticle in it. I'll display that on the screen right now. And this is very similar to their EP8, but the EP8 is a first focal plane optic. It has better glass than this, and but this is no slouch. For what this thing costs, this is a pretty nice LPVO. It's a 1-6. It has a 30mm main tube, KYL kill box reticle, and this thing has a fantastic 1x. It's almost like, it's a very flat image, and it's like I'm not looking through anything at all. Honestly, it's got an excellent 1x. So let's get this thing cranked up to 6 and shoot a couple groups just to see how this setup works now. So I'm using Norma Match because I have a ton of this stuff. When I first started testing the Norma Match, the first couple lots that I got of it shot really, really good. So I bought, I think it was like 3 or 4 cases of it, and I got to use this stuff up, and it's still relatively accurate, but it's not pinpoint accurate. Actually, I think it shot pretty damn good. So running this subsonic ammunition, we do not have any weights installed in the weight system here. It's just a housing, and that's it. And it seems to be working properly. Let's shoot 5 more rounds and see if this last bolt hold open works. All right, we even got hold back. All right, let's go down and check out those groups. I'll get right back to you. Okay, doesn't look like it shot too bad. This time we're going to shoot 10 rounds with the CMMG magazine. Now, I have had issues with this magazine, and the problem seemed to be it was super loose inside of this lower receiver. So what I did is I stippled the back of it to add a little bit of material to the back of it so it would fit properly. So let's see if this thing runs like it's supposed to now. All right, here we go. 10 more rounds. In case you don't know what stippling is, that's where you take a hot soldering iron and you can like poke little pinholes in plastic. A lot of guys will use that to make their grips more aggressive on their polymer pistols. All right, we didn't get hold back. All right, so the hold back did not work with the CMMG mag. I'm not sure why. Because it does work. Huh. That's weird. So the CMMG mag, we did not get bolt hold open. So not sure what's going on with that. All right, let's try 10 more rounds. We're gonna shoot them a little quicker this time. Yeah, these Chris mags seem to work the best. They seem to operate perfectly. I haven't had any issues at all. They hold the bolt back like they're supposed to, and as you can see, they cycle properly. Now guys, I'm using the Hyperfire Eclipse trigger. This is one of the closer to the top of the line triggers that Hyperfire offers. Now, as far as AR22s go, triggers can be tricky. Not all triggers will work with this platform. But Hyperfire, every trigger that I've used of theirs has worked like it's supposed to, and this is probably one of the lighter ones that you can get from Hyperfire. So as far as AR22s, I've had absolutely no problems with Hyperfire triggers. All right guys, so I swapped out the muzzle brake for a Jessie's Girl 22 suppressor. Let's see if we get a point of impact shift or any type of cycling problems now that we're running suppressed. So let's see what happens here. So it actually looks like the group's tightened up a little bit. Let's do another 10-shot group, top left. Damn. Now I have seen this a lot on lighter barrels, so like a lighter profile barrel where you'll stick a suppressor on it and it'll actually tighten up the groups. I think that's what we're getting here. As you've seen, we had a lot of flyers and our groups were not near as tight as what that is. All right, hopefully this thing is still zeroed from the other day. The only problem with a 6-power scope is I can't see exactly what's going on down there, so I've got my Vortex spotting scope for that. So let me check that out real quick. All right, well, not quite as good as it shot the other day. The barrel is cold though. All right, let's try 10 more shots now that the barrel's warmed up and see if, I think we could go up a tad yet. We could go up a couple clicks, and we'll go to the right a couple clicks and see if that's any better. Shooting groups with a 6-power scope is not easy. How did it do that time? Yeah, not too bad. So you know what? It's not perfect, but I'd say that's probably a little over 1/2 inch. Let's see what it does with a different muzzle device. Let's make this safe, and then we'll swap out the muzzle device and see how it shoots that way. All right, guys, so now we have the kid compensator on here. Now, the weight between that kid compensator and what that suppressor weighs, it seems pretty dang close. I haven't weighed it or anything, but when you hold them both in each hand, it feels really close. So let's see if the last round bolt hold open works with the CMMG mag. We did have trouble with it earlier in the video. Now, I did remove a part out of the, there's a little plastic part that comes with that the polymer breech face kit, and there's a little plastic piece that I took out. It didn't seem like the bolt was traveling back far enough for the CMMG bolt hold open function to work. So let's see if it works this time. So the point of impact changed a lot. Wow. And the bolt hold open worked. Let's put 5 more in that. Yeah, seems about the same actually. All right. So this muzzle device, I don't know where it came from, but it's kind of a flash hider compensator combo. I have no idea what the brand is. I think it came with a barrel that I bought one time, but it's got a decent weight to it, and I believe it works good for 22 long rifles. So let's see what we get out of this one. Wow. Seemed like it shot a lot better with that compensator on there. So guys, the suppressor shot a .53 10-shot group. The kid comp shot a .83, and the no-name compensator shot a .68. So it does seem to make a little bit of a difference depending on which muzzle device that you have on the end of your barrel. I already knew that, but I didn't know how big of a deal it was going to make on this particular barrel. So guys, I want to show you the illumination on this LH-6. Now, this is setting 9, so this is as bright as it gets. Now, it's definitely visible, but it's not very bright out here today. So it's definitely visible. This has 2 night vision settings as well. Let's go down to setting 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you got night vision 2, night vision 1, and off. Now guys, it does have 9 different settings with 2 night vision settings, and there is not a off in between each setting. So when you get something set up, you have to go all the way back, which kind of sucks. I kind of grown used to that setting, having off in between each setting. But this one, I don't think you're going to have that big of a problem because you're probably going to be running it on 9 most of the time. It'll work in a low light situation, but for, you know, it's all right. It's pretty typical for LPVO in this price range. So did I end up accomplishing my goal? I think so. I think this barrel shot really good for what it is, especially for how many rounds this thing already has down it. It's going to do exactly what I need it to do. I'm glad I looked into it, and I'm glad that we've got this fixed. Now I'll end up having to put something up and down this barrel after I get done shooting it just to kind of protect it from rusting again. I don't know if maybe that pitting was there for a while and it just, after it sat for a little while, it, you know, that rust started to come up. I really don't know. I can't explain it, but I'll have to pay a little bit more attention to this barrel now because we did have that problem. But yeah, guys, I think we accomplished our goal. This thing shot really good. I really enjoyed this Arken Optics LPVO. I think for the money, you can't beat it. All right, guys, well, that's pretty much all I got for you today. So if you like what you saw, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you like what I'm doing here, go down there and hit that subscribe button. I can't build this channel without you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.